Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Fixing It Up with Sandra. In case you're new here, I'm Sandra, and today, as promised, I am bringing more candle tutorials to you. I know that I already have some candle tutorials available for you guys to watch. I still stand by everything that I said. However, what I'm going to do from here on out, I actually have a whole list of all kinds of candle tutorials that I want to bring to you. And so I might revisit some topics I've already done. And maybe might be some new information in there because as a candle maker, I'm always evolving. So I figured, why not start with how I got into candle making, just a little tidbit of like some of the things that I've learned, what I'm still learning, that kind of stuff. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm going to just start from the very beginning, and then we're going to work our way through my journey of being a candle maker. So also make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, because all of you candle makers or people that are interested in this field, you want to be notified when I upload a tutorial. So make sure you're hitting that notification bell. And plus I'm going to sprinkle a whole bunch of other stuff in while I'm still on my candle journey with you guys. Make sure that you're also asking questions, because if you guys have any questions, I want to be able to answer them to the best of my ability. I do want to say that first and foremost. These are all of my opinions. This is how I create. I will put links into the description box for when I talk about ordering things or where I've learned certain things from. And then some of it, I just learned from trial and error. And again, this is what works for me. This is not something that is set in stone, that is law or any of that stuff. You obviously have to make your own decision when it comes to candle making. If you decide to turn it into a business, do what makes you feel comfortable and what works for you with where you're at, the environment that you're in, all of that fun stuff. This is just simply my experience, and I just want to pass on some information, and maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it'll give you some direction, and then hopefully you're going to have as much fun as I do creating candles, because it has been just, I don't understand how I didn't get into this sooner. I've been doing it maybe 5 years, and I have just fallen head over heels in love with it. And it's just been an amazing journey. When I started out, I've always loved fragrance. I have a collection of perfumes and I've always been a candle person that bought candles and wax melts, and the house is always like smelly good. And so I was like, when I started to venture into this area of crafting, I was like, why haven't I been doing this? And just like anybody else, and I also didn't have social media to go on, and I didn't have YouTube to teach me or anything like that. So it makes sense why I waited this long. But anyways, so I didn't know where to start when I was like, I want to make candles. And so the first place that I looked was Amazon. I bought some wax off of there, wicks, coloring, that kind of stuff. And then I improvised when it came to like, how do I melt the wax? I used like an empty food can, cleaned it out, of course. And I wasn't making the candles for anybody but myself. And I would like take like a giant can that I would get and fill it with wax. Really didn't have like a formula. I would like guesstimate, and I would fill the tin can up, melt it, and then have like, a bunch of wax fragranted left over. I did the 1 pound to 1 ounce ratio. I was so off, like by a lot. Thankfully, I didn't burn my house down. And I was making candles using like these cute little yogurt jars. This is a candle that I have. This candle's probably, it still smells just as great. From about 3 years ago, maybe something like that. But yeah, I got these cute little jars on Amazon. Look at my label. It's so basic. I love it. But yeah, the more that I got into it, it's kind of like you go down the rabbit hole. I realized that there were places that, you could buy candle supplies and whatnot. And then obviously I started going on YouTube. There are some great people that I would follow, like Flaming Candle. They have a great YouTube. Candle Science, hands down, is like the number one, in my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. I just realized my necklace was in here. One of the number one places to go, Stanley, handcrafted Stanley, Erica with Memory Box Candle Company. Those are some of the people that I really just started listening to and then seeing what worked for me. Not everything that they said worked for me. And so I just had to kind of tweak it and make it my own. And, play around with it, make sure that you're having fun. And then I realized, okay, I don't want to purchase my product off of Amazon. When it came to wax and all that other stuff, I really wanted to get quality stuff where we knew the number of the wick, because when you order off of Amazon, it's just a wick. Like there's no like CD, 8 or eco, whatever. It's just a wick, and you're like, I need more information, because as you go along into your candle journey, you realize like how important, the wick is when it comes to candle making, and how important your wax is. Like all of these ingredients are super important, and you want high quality product if you intend, especially if you intend on selling it. So yeah, it was a lot of research. I did purchase some books. I was gifted some books, which I thought were really cool. Just like learning about the history of candles, just really cool stuff. Then when I realized that I wanted to get into selling candles, that's where you really have to pay attention. And you have to do a lot of testing. And that's the one thing that I'm going to I cannot say enough. You have to test your candles. You cannot pour a candle and then immediately sell it. You need to make sure that the wick that you have purchased is a quality wick, that it's perfect for the size container, all of that stuff, that your, wax to fragrance oil ratio is good. There are so many things, and only through testing. And I know, because I felt it too, I know that some people will say, well, this is a waste. Like I'm wasting product, like I'm buying this stuff, but I'm not making any money. Like I'm spending all this money and then just testing these candles at home. That's the great part, because you want to, when you eventually start selling, be able to tell your customers, I know how this candle is going to perform. I know exactly what's going to happen, because I have tested this candle over and over and over. I've tested the different wicks. I have tested the different wax, the containers, all fragrance, all of that stuff. And you will sell more candles to your customers when you are able to say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is what it's going to do. Even if it's not like, you're like, yeah, it might soot a little, or it might do this. I think your customers, and for me, I'm like, I tried this wick out. If it starts to soot a little bit, don't be alarmed. It did it with me. Just make sure that this is, and people are like, thank you for telling me that, as opposed to just like buying a candle and then seeing a little black soot and then having a heart attack because they think the candle is bad. Because that does happen. So when you get into that, like test. Also, what you're going to have to do before you even sell a candle is look into your labeling laws for candles. There are things that you have to put onto a candle that are legally required by law in order for you to sell it. Can you just sell a candle? Of course. You can, without a shadow of a doubt, make a candle and not test it, not label it, and sell it. However, if something goes not your way, if something happens and that candle causes a fire, you can be sued. And if you don't have any knowledge about your candle, or if you don't have it labeled correctly or anything like that, it's not going to be too good for you. So I always say, make sure that you're looking for the legal requirements for your candle. And then also, again, test, 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 hands down. So, I used to make, oh gosh, I remember, this is bamboo and coconut. I even made a candle in a wine glass. Yes, I have tested these. I don't think I ever sold a candle in a wine glass because I wasn't 100% sure if the glass would hold up. And I was terrified that somebody would get it and it would break. But I went from this to this. Hold on. I did mason jars and to this. This was a Christmas candle I did. And I love, look at my labels. Look at how different the labels are. And I'm still changing labels. And I thought my little cat was underneath me. Here's one right here. And then here's another. I mean, I have gone all across the board when it comes to creating candles. And so as we go on this journey, of course, always leave your questions in the comments because I'm going to read them and then hopefully answer all of them. And I'm going to share with you, as you can see, I've used so many different jars. Let's see what's next. So many different jars and so many different wicks that I hope I can give you a broad, spectrum of information. So anyways, I hope that you guys will like these videos. They're going to keep coming because I am a candle maker. This is where my heart is. And, it actually can be a lucrative business. There is a commercial, I think it's like one of those insurance commercials where they're like, and they only sell candles and they're still able to pay the rent or something like that. And yes, you can make a profit selling candles. It is something that you really have to put your heart into, and you can. And just know that this is also, it can be a pricey craft to get into. I think any craft is pricey, but when you start buying quality products, especially right now during the pandemic, I want to say that everything is much higher. It is much higher because I'm paying probably $25 to $30 more for a 50-pound box of wax now than I did prior to the pandemic. So if you jump into the candle business right now, it is kind of pricey. Hopefully the prices will go down. But I really encourage you to just fall in love with this craft if it's on your heart, because you will not be disappointed. And I will start showing you how to do some really cool candles. We're going to do a Fruit Loop cereal bowl candle. We're going to do some cupcake candles. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to be going through all of these fragrance oils, all of the companies that I've just fallen in love with over the years. But yeah, candle making has just been something that I have not gotten tired of, and I don't see myself ever getting tired of. The market is, in my opinion, very saturated, because I believe that candle making is it's very calming. The smells and just everything about it is super calming to me. So I can see a lot of people wanting to do this right now to just kind of ease their nerves. But the market, in my opinion, is very saturated. So don't get disappointed if you start a candle business and you're like, nobody's buying my candles on Etsy. I'm not getting any traffic. It's okay. Don't worry. People will buy your candles. It just is going to take a little bit of work. So I've kind of jumped all over the place. Again, this is just my introduction. This is just the opportunity to say, hey, ask your questions in the comments below. I do have my computer over here, like I said, with the whole list of topics that we're going to be discussing. Next on this is the 5 things that you need to know when starting out. So that's going to be the next tutorial or video for information. You're not going to want to miss it. It's just some of the things that I've learned that I'm like, if somebody would have told me in the beginning. So Anyways, yeah, that is it. Please, again, leave your questions and I will see you in the next candle tutorial. This is all going to be under, I have like little folders for the, for my channel. Just head on over there if you want to see the rest of them. They're all categorized. That's what it was. And I will see you guys again. I'm going to be popping these out. So hopefully I'll see you again soon. And remember, hit the notification bell, subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss it. So thanks again for watching this, and I will see you very soon.